Okay, I think we have everything. All right, morning chat. Hope y'all are doing well. Sorry, stream was a little delayed. My it's downpouring out, or it was earlier, and my neighbor left their sunroof open. So, are you okay?
Where did you? Yeah.
Uh,
you came out of nowhere. I didn't even hear you.
Well, I was I was over there. What are you staring at?
I was just looking at the camera.
Oh. Oh.
Looking at the blinking lights.
Interesting.
Uh-huh. What? Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just kind of here to show face.
You know, life hits you fast.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta life hits you fast. You know, we have a mission statement. We care about values, respect, integrity, and I'm leaving.
All right.
Have a good one. I couldn't read the last one. 1:30, 10:41. Any actives? Okay, that. It may have said responsibility. Who knows? Akara. Oh, no, I'm cold. Morning.
Hello. How do you spell color, sir?
COLOR. I imagine it's COLOUR for you.
Yeah, that's wrong.
Wrong as in I assume that you spelled it with a U, and the correct way is COLOR.
Yeah, it's the correct way is COLOUR.
You know, I think we can very easily point out the flaw there, and that there's the L, right? But then you have to specify U. You know, and I think we can avoid the L and U and just, you know, be what it be.
We might have to agree to disagree on this one, sir.
Yeah, that's fine. What about tire?
Yeah.
Is it with a Y or an I?
It's with a Y, sir.
Why?
Oh, I didn't tell you about a bolo I've just put out. It was very interesting. I wish you were there for it. It's very interesting. If you have a look at report number 2945, you will see something new. And that something new is basically what we thought was potentially an ambush for a tier 3 group 6 truck. You'll see in the pictures, there was like one of those gray container ship crane things that must have come from the docks. So our theory is that they were waiting there along with the blue Speedo van. All the suspects all dressed the same as well. And then a blue and color four-door. We think they were going to use the container thing to trap whoever was doing the group 6 run inside the bank, rob all the stuff out of the van, put all the stuff in the Speedo, stash the Speedo, escape in the blue car, go back for the Speedo later. That's what I think. That's pure speculation. We were watching for a while, and like there were 2 Group 6 trucks that went past. There was a
Wait, I
shitty
can't
one.
see these photos. They're not loaded.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I've redone my. Hold on.
Oh, you might need to open it in another thing.
I did. That's why I'm. Okay, even when I go to evidence. Oh wait, no, those links are not correct. They do not end in the proper format.
What do you mean?
So go to evidence. You'll see that all of those links are imager slash a thing without any.
Does it need to be .jpeg?
Well, whatever. It could be PNG, it could be JPEG, could be JPEG. But those, I don't think those are going to load for anybody. Are they loading for you?
Yeah, when I load it in a different thing, it does. But I have it sometimes where like the pictures don't work, but then sometimes they do work.
So normally, so that does happen, and normally literally just closing out that tab and then reloading it makes it work. I don't think these are ever going to work because the format of the image is missing.
Fucking balls. Hang on, let me change that, see if it works. Thank you for telling me that. I didn't know that was an issue. How do I can't edit that evidence, can I?
You cannot. No. Good news, you can just remove it from the report, although it'll stay within evidence. If you just untag it from the report, you can upload the new ones and you're fine.
Okay. God fucking damn it, that's annoying. Let me re-add these.
While you were talking, I sat there and I got rid of the tab. I went back, still not loading. I opened up another tab, went back to the report, still not loading. I was like, wait a minute. I went to the evidence tab, and when it didn't load there, I was like, something's wrong. So when you paste your link, does it not automatically put the file extension?
It might be. I've got it now. I think I know what I was doing wrong. So
okay.
It'll be corrected. All right, try that. That should work now.
That works, yes.
Perfect. Let me get the other ones then. So that was the container crane thing. It looked like it was in a concealed position as well, like fairly well concealed, like behind the bridge. You can't really see it when you're traveling north on that road.
Yeah.
Then the blue, so there was a gray Speedo that was parked in the parking lot just across the road on the south side of the stores and stuff where that bank is. And then the the blue and color four-door was somewhere to the north. I think it was parked in one of the alley, like the driveways, but I can't see that from where I was. And then when a tier 3 truck turned up, they all started moving at exactly the same time. And which made me come to the conclusion I think they were there for some kind of ambush. But then they stopped. It was if they started moving because they thought that truck was the target, and then they were told like, no, don't rob that truck. Maybe they knew the person inside, so they weren't going to rob them. Maybe it wasn't the right one that they were trying to find. I don't know, but it was very sus.
I'm sorry, what is the angle of your photos? Where were you positioned?
I was up on the hills above Great Ocean Highway. So
oh my gosh.
So I was like, originally I drove past going north because we were going there for 37 Charlie calls. And then I saw that thing parked there. I was like, what the fuck is going on? So I went up onto the hill and like went down as far as I could in the car silently, and then got out, and I was basically just stood in a tree.
Oh, so you were positioned behind the bank on the hills?
Yeah, to the east, up the hills, yeah.
I don't know why, but everything, even though I see the road, which to me says that like, that's the little side road and then the beach is right behind it, like the secondary road on the top right corner. When I was originally looking at this, I was thinking, I wasn't thinking, actually. My thought was that the angle that we're looking at would have been up against the hill that you are technically on. And I was like, where is this? I didn't see the Fleeca sign because I'm an idiot. I was just trying to, my primary focus was that vehicle next to like the stairs that lead up to the little overpass thing. I was like, I can't make sense of this. But yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense.
I'm just adding the gray thingy in the four-door.
Is there a good photo of the four-door?
Coming, stand by. There's that one. You can't see the four-door that easily. It's kind of like in the smoke. I'm about to add another one.
Damn, that fucking car concealed itself.
Yeah, it was really.
What the hell? They got smoke screens? Hello?
There we go. There you go. Blue 4-doors added.
Oh, that's interesting. That's okay, it looks like the taillights are broken.
That's how I spotted it. All the windows are smashed out. I saw it speeding. The first time I saw it, it was speeding north on the freeway.
Despite the broken taillights, it almost looks like the Tailgater S. But I don't think it is, because like the remainder of it doesn't look like.
I think it's one of those, you know, those cars that with the back end that looks like a BMW and the front end looks like a Jag. I think it's one of those. I can't remember what that's called.
Are you talking about the one? Were you present for the laundromat yesterday?
Which one?
There was a there was a red 4-door that fled from us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you talking about that one?
Yes.
Okay.
I think that's the one. Yeah. I think
so. I'm inclined to say
a mesh grill on the front, and it literally looks like a new BMW on the rear end.
Laundromat. Great. No, that's 218. Hold on. I'm gonna see if I'm fairly certain Graves took photos of the laundromat. Oh, I'm going to okay, wait. Yesterday was the 27th. Laundromat. Yep. Suspects.
See the announcements, by the way?
No, not quite.
There's a few. I would look at them when you can.
Okay, so we didn't get a good photo of the vehicle. The vehicle is partially in it, but you only get the side view.
Oh. I think a lot of people are
actually, you might be able to compare it.
It's usually the same kind of vehicle with every laundromat robbery that I've been to so far. It's that red and color 4-door everyone keeps using.
Yes.
Which I think is a tailgater, right?
I don't think so. I'm trying to figure out whether or not...
I don't know all these fucking car names yet.
Okay. I don't think it's the same car, because reference report number 2894.
Yep.
And laundromat suspects plus hostage, you kind of get like a side view of the car.
That's the car.
But look at the back, like the third like small triangle window. The spacing doesn't look like it necessarily well, you were far. But even though you were far, it seems...
I think that has what you're talking about though, right? I think that's the same car. I just think it's like
it may, because the wheels look similar too.
Yeah.
The wheels definitely look similar.
I think that's the same.
It really definitely could be.
It's I'm just looking at like get away, right? So
I'm looking at, okay, so do you see on the B pillar where the two windows like the front window and the back window connect? You see like that black plastic piece? There's that third one in the back, but that third one, I don't know, the spacing from that to this like all the way in the back is a little strange. It does look very similar though, either way. You saw me doing group 6 yesterday. I learned a lot. I thought they only got those money pallet jobs at the docks. No, they for Zancudo and a few other places. Humane Labs apparently, and apparently that's a big one where they get. It's a big one where they get robbed.
Oh, Mirror Park Gas. Ooh. Those kinds of places. Oh wait, no, that's sanitation. Never mind.
But yeah, I definitely learned. Ooh, Jenny's around.
Oh, who's that?
Jenny Hall is somebody who used to be a police officer for a very long time. She's a phenomenal person. Okay. She has been tasked with asking people about their opinions of the police department as it currently stands and what the issues are.
Oh.
Okay. She ran into me and told me of this yesterday, that she'd be doing this today. While I was telling her I made $17 an hour over 6 hours because I got paid $4,001 and then paid $3,900 in vehicle repairs. And that's why I resorted to doing group 6 for the remainder of the day.
Yeah, fair. I spent like probably almost $20,000 on car stuff yesterday or the day before. Kind of fucked.
I also
found out yesterday I've been a PPO for 39 days.
What?
Yeah.
Are you shift 1?
I don't know. I've
I'm
never
checking
really
the roster.
specified what shift I am.
You are shift 1.
Shit, so I'm out of shift? I'm way out of shift. I started like 2 hours ago.
That means your shift technically starts in an hour and a half. Regardless of that, though, I mean, it's not like you're not present for your shift. In addition, it would be silly if anything happened on the basis of we need people across the board. It don't matter if you fit into 3, 1. Don't matter if you're 3 and a half.
Cross over in the shift 1. I definitely don't stay until after tsunami. That's like.
Oh yeah, me neither. At some point I used to be listed as shift 1, but I've been a 3 into 1 for sure, but never after
into 1.
The meeting.
Yeah. I guess I'll give feedback about the FTO stuff because yesterday you looked at my FTO sheet and apparently nothing's been written on it. So I'm like, oh, okay.
We probably need to speak to. Wait, did I see that Aldo was around? No, I saw a thing announcement. But what happened to Ruth?
She suspended herself yesterday.
Why?
Because an officer is pushing charges of treason. That's why.
But how do I get points pushed on Turner?
Wait, what? You're pushing points on Turner?
Yeah, he exchanged.
This is what this whole oversight board is about, right?
Well, he was the one to exchange 3 officers for somebody in custody. Like, they had 3 officers and they wanted somebody in custody. That's an SOP break. But I can't.
Is it?
Yeah, you can't exchange people for somebody in custody. It outlines it on page 39.
Oh, I read that. Yes.
So,
yeah, I read that.
Here's the thing. I can't go to Slacks. Slacks is one of the victims. He'd be biased.
Yeah, true.
The only person I can go to is Ruth. And you know what? Maybe I don't want to push this. I think Ruth gets a bunch of unnecessary hate. And I think she's a badass bitch who stands her ground. And people, and here's the thing. Here's the thing. At the end of the day, I think she does her job without issue. But apparently everybody takes issue with it because they don't want to suffer the consequences of their own actions.
I think that's part of it. Oh, I think that's part of it. I don't know. I haven't been around long enough to have too big of an opinion, but I haven't seen like the things that people have complained about. Like I haven't seen a lot of it actually. Like I've seen like I guess I have issues with how the FTO program. They need some more FTOs. They need to hire some people that have experience. They need to stop wasting resources on people that have experience. I don't know what.
You know what I equate all of this to when it comes to training? I equate our FTO/training program to a 2-lane highway. Okay, and every time we take on a cadet that needs a lot of work, they are not just a big truck on this 2-lane highway. They are an oversized, massive, like transport truck that has a 3-mile escort both in front of it and behind it because it's carrying nuclear shit. Okay, and nobody should be around it, which means all lanes are shut down. Nobody can overtake. But every time we take on somebody who has prior experience, it's the equivalent of them being in like a subcompact sedan or maybe even a hatchback. You can weave in and out of traffic with them. People can get by even if they're not going fast. But you can't do that with an oversized, 3 miles ahead, 3 hours behind, or miles escort by police. Nobody can get past. Anyways, that's what I equate it to.
That's a really smart way to put it. I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, we have a lot of those big trucks on the road at the moment. That is the problem. I will say though, shift 3, although some of these newer cadets, definitely need some time.
Some of them are pretty green. Is that the right term?
They're what? Sorry, I didn't catch that.
They're pretty green, as in like pretty new. I don't know. That's pretty. I think that's a military thing,
but this specific round for shift 3 has been pretty solid in the grand scheme of things.
That's good.
Very promising. For example, Sterling. I'm sure you've run into Sterling. He was on duty yesterday. He's probably one of the most personable newer cops that we have.
Okay, cool.
Solid guy. Him, Larry, Bouchard, also really solid. Just about everyone I've taken out from the new round of cadets has been good. Like I'm genuinely impressed. It seems that there is definitely more of a focus on ensuring that we don't have to teach people what probable cause is.
Oh, nice. Okay, well that's good. Oh, that's good to hear. I like that.
That's progress.
Yeah, it is for sure. I think that there's a lot of I feel like the police department gets rushed quite a lot, but also at the same time, some things need to be faster than others. Like I feel sometimes I look at like what criminals are doing, and then I see what we're capable of, and it feels like we're kind of lagging behind a bit. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, 100%.
Like if you could put it in terms of progress, it feels like prim progress is like a month ahead of ours.
What did you just do?
They're booming.
They're booming.
And they're gonna literally be booming soon.
Yeah.
There's
There's
guns out there in the
there.
streets.
Yeah, there's fucking
I
guns
was
out
with
there, man.
JJ yesterday doing my group 6. He was about to drop me off at Mission Row, and I'm pretty sure he was on the phone with Ivan. Okay, and he said they had guns, and I don't know what the response was, but I'm assuming
told me
Ivan was
about
doing
that too.
sanitation, and the people had guns.
He called me about that. Obviously, keep that to yourself, but he's been pretty open about what's been happening.
Yeah, it's not at all
which
surprising.
is really helpful.
Yeah,
I'm
definitely.
trying my best to try and help these guys. I feel so bad for them because they're just out there trying to work a civvy job. JJ was like, I don't want to go back to crime. These guys are like forcing me to go back to crime or to do something about whatever the fuck's going on because this shit is like, he's got his family members getting hurt and stuff. And I understand that. He wants to do something, but I'm trying to get him to not do something and to let us do what we can. But,
It's such a double-edged sword because the way I look at it is, obviously, I would never tell somebody to not defend themselves. I would never tell anybody to commit a crime. But at the same time, how do we tell somebody, don't do anything, call us, and they never get a response from us because we're too busy?
Exactly. Yeah, just call us. Well, yeah, okay. And they do. They regularly call. These guys are always asking for help at the vault.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah,
And
100%.
They don't always get it.
Listen, I saw some of the inner workings of Group 6 yesterday. When we were going to the vault, another group that had their job ready was like, wait, are you guys going? Because if you go now, we'll go as well. That way they could double up, essentially have more numbers so that in the event where anything happened, they were less likely to get robbed. They're trying their best to do it on their own. They also have to deal with some fucking scumbag in a taxi beating up all the cars and ramming them in the Group 6 parking lot so that he then rolls through in the HQ with his taxi and goes, do any of you guys need a ride?
Is that Abdul?
No, that's the crazy part. It's an old man. And the craziest part is I saw this dude sometime in the last week. I was on Upper Power responding to a call. I saw the dude fucking beating every car with the wrench. Every car was fucking smoking. But I was on a call.
It sounds like a lad, lad.
I think so. I think so.
Yeah, I've met him. Yeah. Cheeky fuck. Okay. Damn. Is it like I can't remember what it says in the SOPs around this, but what if we took 911s, like we started treating those as more of a priority than literally any ping that we get? Other than the blue pings, I guess.
I mean, realistically, we should be doing that.
Does it stay at anywhere that I'm not remembering?
Probably not. But any civilian-related calls should take priority over, anything happening. The issue is, we'll have an officer be like, whatever, 76, Polito for the latest 37, and it's like, okay, well, fuck, now they're going to be the only unit up north. They're not going to have any backup. Let me go help.
You have to go.
Exactly. And it's not necessarily a solid use of resources at the moment.
Fuck.
And to be clear, I live up in Polito. I'm pretty sure whoever the fuck owned our house before ran a trap house. People be coming for deliveries. We have to shoo them off our lawn.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he goes, yo, you gonna share this with this guy? No, I never met the dude. Who the fuck is he? Get the fuck out of here.
That's funny. Also, check this out. I was given this yesterday. Is this the coin that's coming from the laundromat? It looks the same.
Couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you.
Some
My
dude
mind
in
is
this
too big to.
green military garb gave it to me yesterday. I don't know who the fuck he is.
Couldn't tell you. My mind's too big to comprehend that. All right, I'm gonna go figure out where Jenny is and probably give her my thoughts.
I got you. Well, have fun.
Where is she?
I would like to give her my thoughts also at some point. So let me know if she gets any time or would like to have a word.
Sounds good.
Nice.
Sounds good. I'm gonna go find her.
All
Stay
right.
safe out there. I'll be out there shortly. Maybe not. I have a lot to say. Hmm. Wait a minute. Jenny? Oh,
Good enough.
Hello. I was
hey.
given permission to come in here. Don't
Oh,
worry, I'm
yeah,
not
no,
in here
that's
'cause I'm
okay.
rude.
That's okay. Have you spoken with anybody yet?
No, not yet.
Wait,
Speak to us.
when does that officially start?
I started
Wow.
yesterday. Oh no, I've spoken to 5 people. Not to, yesterday. I officially started yesterday. I already
I'm
have a full stack.
I'm ready to speak.
You ready? Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready to listen.
You know, we should probably head to an office.
Yeah, we
You can
should.
speak in the car.
Yeah, we can.
No, I'll get distracted.
Okay,
Oh,
fair
sir.
enough.
I'll get distracted. It'd be no good.
Okay.
What?
What?
What'd you get distracted from?
No, they're half a boot.
Okay.
It's
I'm going to be giving
What's wrong with
Jenny
those?
my feedback regarding everything within the police
those are the
department.
ones that I wear.
And I'm
What's
unable to
wrong
do
with
that
them?
while out on duty.
Oh.
Because I'll get called to a 78, somebody being robbed, senior bun stabbing, which actually, I can't even say senior bun stabbings anymore. I just
I
have
think you should put the
PTSD
other
from
ones
that.
back on. I think you should put the other ones.
People don't
back
get
on.
stabbed there no more. I don't even think people work there.
The other ones-
They hardly do. We did have a altercation there yesterday, but some people got wrenched when they tried to rob them.
What
Ooh.
am I putting on, you say?
The original ones. It's not like you're gonna be hardcore running anywhere.
What, the shoes?
You thirsty at
Just
all?
reset in the cars.
Not that much. I got my energy drinks, raw energy drinks. That's why
Ooh.
I huff and puff all day. You want some?
Oh, hold up. These bottles of water are bigger than they used to be. Man,
Maybe.
mm-hmm. They're definitely bigger.
You shouldn't be chugging water like that. You should be drinking.
Don't tell
it,
me how
you
to
know,
live my
so-
life. Listen,
Doing a recommendation.
my level of sass is up here. I need to dilute it down to here, okay?
Hey, what's going on today? What happened, Rhodes?
What happened? It's what happened yesterday.
What happened?
You know, yesterday I took out
Yeah.
a CVPI, and I knew it was fucked, but it was the only one available, so I take
Okay.
it. And listen, I was in snitch mode. Except so many people acknowledge how fucked that car was. They took it out and put it right back, so I couldn't even identify the person responsible. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do my shift. Laundromat's being robbed. I'm taking it. It is what it is. So I go out there. I was on duty for 6 hours, and I picked up my paycheck the day before. I was on duty 6 hours. I got paid $4,001. Okay, $4,001 dollars, I guess. My vehicle repair for that CVPI was $3,900, which meant
Damn.
I made
This is the one day
about
of work of-
$17 an hour for the 6 hours I was on duty.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
that's not including the watch that I had to buy, which is $150. That's not including the
Yep.
fuel. That's not including, any repair kit. Nothing. It didn't include nothing. Just the vehicle repair. The math ain't mathin'.
You know what you got to math about though, Rhodes?
What?
Look at all the officers that are property owners right now. That's when you got to math it up.
Okay, but I'm not going to work. Like, listen, if I have to work,
Yeah.
that don't make no sense. Why? I went off
You went to
duty.
work Group 6.
I went to work Group 6 with JJ and Cass. I made
Mhm.
more money in the half hour I was with them. When I say more money, I mean 30 times the amount of money that I've made in half an hour than I had my whole shift.
Before you pay for repairs or after?
After, of course.
I mean, look, after like
Even if, here's the
3900
thing, even if you exclude the fact that that car was fucked, the normal
Mhm.
repair cost would have been about $1,500, right?
Yeah.
Which meant that in the 30 minutes I was with JJ and Cass, I still would have been positive a considerable amount more in 30 hours of or 30 minutes of work. That's crazy. That's crazy. I'm in the wrong profession. You know what I'm about to
You're-
tweet?
You're a public servant, Rhodes. You're
Do
not
I
here to
have
make money.
Anybody who wants to be my G6 partner? Question mark.
You know what? Julian selling his near brand new tier 3 group 6 truck, 27 grand. I'm about to scoop that shit up.
No, you don't want it yet. You're not high enough rap.
I know, but you know, it was a joke. It was a joke.
No, but seriously, if one comes up and you're high enough rap, take it.
Look, Shanice Smith. Shanice, I forget how she wanted it pronounced. Stop robbing me. I'm just trying to pay my bills. Hashtag justice for pink G6.
What is this? Juan Carlos Hernandez says, being robbed by CG, I'm now offering anti-CG protection for a very low cost. Call me.
Oh my god, a security business.
The fifth of them.
Wait, what did Flippy say?
Who
I
is
hate
CG?
Reggie.
There's two CGs. There's CG and then there's Celibate Gang, but I think Celibate Gang isn't really celibate, so I don't think that's valid anymore.
Celibate gang?
Yeah.
What the?
Huh? What?
Yeah, CG. Celibate Gang.
I'm gonna be real. I think at this point, you know, the moment we have enough officers, we need to send 2 or 3 of them out, UC for a sanitation run, and we need to be able to swoop in when they start getting robbed and figure out who the fuck these people are. This is getting, listen, the repair prices are only gonna go higher and higher if the material prices keep going higher and higher because they don't get materials because they get robbed. And this is how the world goes round. Listen, I have PTSD, okay? I almost got killed many years ago over the cost of materials running a recycling center off of Capitol and
remember
Popular.
this.
Yeah.
Okay?
Remember
I've been
remember.
there and I done that, and it was out of my control, but I tried my damn hardest. I tried my hardest. Didn't matter. People were still angry. It didn't matter. You want to know the most fucked up part?
What?
There were 10
Sure.
different materials, okay? Everything was random, all right? And of the 10 materials, only 2 of them were actually purchased by anybody. The other 8
I remember.
only... oh gosh, if I recall correct, put it this way, only 20% of what I got was usable. And I couldn't do anything with the other 80%. So all the work was
Sometimes
going into
happens in
getting
recycling.
the 20% that were actually being purchased, again, 80% of which was unused, which meant that the price had to be higher if we had to process all of this shit to get only 20% of it sold, right? They didn't care. They didn't give a fuck. Anywho, I'm not ranting.
All right. Well, I'm done changing, so.
Oh. I know where we should have our...
If you say in
Our
the fucking
conversation.
staircase upstairs, I swear to God.
I have standards.
Okay, good.
I'm not a
Because I just
captain.
don't.
Lead the way.
Follow me.
So I've been waiting for.
I can sign the waiver. You can send it.
Oh, wait, waiver for what?
And I'm
They're coming.
Liability
They
for
gonna
myself.
come with me on patrol, but I
Yeah,
guess
I
you
gotta
go,
do
you
this.
Go give your
this
statement.
meeting, your statement
Oh.
first. You know.
Thanks for cock blocking me, Rhodes.
No, this
I'll
is
be
like
calling you
the...
soon.
You got
yeah.
mayor office blocked.
It's not true.
Sorry. Y'all ever been trauma dumped?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Jenny
First
more than
order of
others.
business. Where the fuck is my espresso machine? Max promised me. He promised me an espresso machine. Oh, I'm angry. I'm sorry. This way. I lied. This way.
Going in this room into a corner?
Yep, we're going to
This
the
was
big
everyone's
table over there.
favorite- Oh, this is everyone's favorite place to have a conversation yesterday.
Oh no, we'll go over here.
I had a lot of conversations right here last night. It was great.
Okay. Now we're gonna sit here. Now, I do have to tell you, you want to be careful with how you sit. Well, maybe not. Maybe you're fine. Let me just there we go. Oh wait, Jenny, you're definitely gonna have an issue. You just want to give yourself some space from the chair.
Oh no. I'm
Oh.
God. Oh
Take it.
no.
Oh yeah. I told you so.
There are things I didn't want to
Yeah, just give yourself some space. You know, it's definitely a little finicky. It's okay.
It's fine. I got this. I got this. I really got this. I swear I do.
Here, take a look over here. Do that. There you go.
Records.
Are you good?
Oh yeah, sure. Let's go with.
No. If you do, you need to stand up. Do you need to adjust?
We're fine.
Jenny, it doesn't sound like you're fine.
It's fine. I'll deal with it.
No, what's the issue?
Don't worry about it. Let's go.
Okay, all right. Where do we start? What are you looking for specifically? I need to know what tea I need to
Okay,
brew.
I have a
And
couple
steep.
of things before we.
Okay.
Okay, we have a couple of things before we start. Firstly, you are doing this willingly, correct?
What was that?
You're doing this voluntarily. I have not coerced you in any way. Good reply.
You have not I volunteer for all of this. You have not forced me in any way.
Okay. And my next question is: are you wanting to remain anonymous on this, or are you willing to have your name?
Oh,
on
you
this piece
can
of paper?
plaster my name on it.
The way it will work is that when it comes to my final report, you will not be associated with any like sentence or anything. You will just be at the list at the end of officers that I spoke to.
I feel I may be one of the few who has their name listed.
They all have agreed to have it listed.
Oh, perfect. We're good then.
Oh yeah.
They'll never be able to know which one was me.
Yeah, no, you're not. They're not going to be able to tell anyway because I'm not going to be putting like personal responses in there. It's going to be an overarching. This is the feel I got from the PD. This is what kept coming up, and that's what I'm looking for. Do you want this recorded or do you not?
Doesn't bother me.
Okay. All right.
You can record it if you need to. You know what? Record it in case you need to go back and list something I said word for word.
Perfect. I'm going to put a little recording device. It's just my mobile phone on the table. Anytime you want to say anything off record, you may tell me, and I will be able to turn off the recording. You do have the ability to speak to me off record as well.
Okay. No, it can all be on record. That's okay.
Okay, perfect. The first thing we're going to start with is just basically going through a couple of questions. I'm going to try have like a conversation with you. Michael can be involved as well. And we're just kind of going to roll for it, and I'll just take notes of what is said and what happens. But the first thing is, what would you rate your overall satisfaction within the police department?
Are we talking scale of 1 to 5, 1 to 10?
Whatever you want to do.
On a scale of 1 to 10, I would say a promising 3.
Why would you rate it that?
Oof, that's a loaded question. Well, I feel that the state has done very little to support the police department. Just as a whole, I feel that I can't even say recruitment is the issue as much as it is training. But for context, as it currently stands, when the police department was put together, there was an original skeleton crew. Now, amongst that skeleton crew, there were quite a few of us. But that skeleton crew lasted a very short amount of time until people just stopped showing up. And oh, yeah, go ahead, Mr. Simone.
When you say the state hasn't supported, do you mean the federal government or do you mean the actual state?
I guess both. Whether that be for, you know, our day-to-day. No, I can go. I'll go more into that in a bit. So back to the skeleton crew. The original skeleton crew, which was kind of intended to be like, you know, the people who are going to be training up the police department, was fairly small at the beginning. And I anticipated, you know, it'd be a couple weeks before recruitment started and whatnot. But instead of that happening, essentially what did occur was easily half of the skeleton crew just stopped showing up after a couple weeks. I had assumed recruitment would happen shortly after that, and even then it didn't. There has been it has been told to me, rather, that captains have previously referred to the old guard as having been problematic or something to that extent, which personally I think is ironic, because when I was having this conversation with somebody that day, there was 4 or 5 officers on duty. And coincidentally, it was me, Cornwood, Barrick, Sky, Alice. We were the only ones on duty.
That's wild.
And the only thing common amongst us is we was the old guard that they were referring to. Kind of strange that the people willing to do this job used to do this job, if you ask me. Anyways, so a lot of people just stopped showing up. Recruitment didn't happen for pretty much an entire month after. We were dealing with so many concurrent situations, and when I say dealing with, pretty much pushing aside, because logistically we could not deal with more than one situation at once. If there was one senior bun stabbing, that was all hands on deck. We would sit there, document scenes for about an hour, take statements over the course of that hour, and everything would essentially boil down to a he said, she said situation, which is fine. However, throughout that hour, we were unable to respond to any 911 calls indicating people were getting robbed. We just, again, logistically, it's a massive issue when we don't have people on duty to be able to respond to these things. So that's probably one of the primary concerns. The thing is, then recruitment happened. But recruitment was happening solely amongst captains. Captains would be interviewing people. Turner would be on duty in his office, doing back-to-back interviews amongst people. I don't believe, and I could be wrong here, I'm not going to pretend to know every bit of information. I was not originally an FTO. I was asked to be an FTO by Turner. He asked me to consider it, but I was not originally one. But I don't believe much of the hiring had any say beyond just the captains, essentially. Which is problematic, because I feel as though, again, I wasn't present, so I don't know what questions he was asking, but we received quite a few people that we had to train that needed a lot of attention. Not just, you know, hey, you know, I've been a police officer for X amount of time, and then, you know, we sort of show them the nuanced bits, you know, within our police department. It was like, for some people, we had to train pretty much from the ground up, which is not necessarily the worst thing in the world, but when we already are down bad regarding a skeleton crew, which is currently a portion of a skeleton, we don't have the bandwidth to accommodate training somebody from the ground up. We need people with prior experience. And so the way I like to describe it is, y'all ever see those massive trucks that have like, you know, an escort by a police department both in front of it and behind it for miles because the truck has something nuclear on it, and so no vehicle can be within vicinity of it? I would equate our training program to a small 2-lane highway, okay? And for every cadet we take on that needs that level of training, they are that big, massive truck taking up both lanes with a 3-mile escort in front of it by police and a 3-mile escort behind it by police, taking up all police resources, and making it so that we can't have a fluid sort of FTO environment because so much effort and time,
So much energy and
is being put into one person.
So not only are you expected to go police the state, you're also having to police yourself and your cadet, which obviously is exhausting when you're going from call to call to call. You constantly have to back check on your cadet as well. Okay.
100%. And the reality is there have been people who have applied to the police department that do not need a fraction of the level of training that those people need. And in the same situation, a small 2-lane highway, those cadets that don't need that level of attention are either small subcompact sedans or small hatchbacks. They can weave in and out of traffic. People can pull in front of them. They can pull ahead of people, right? Because there's enough bandwidth there. But the moment you stop all traffic by throwing in this big, massive project in the middle, big, massive truck that nobody can get past because they require so much attention, then everything behind that is going to be delayed. Here's the reality. Every FTO that we currently have was part of or originally brought to the police department shortly after the police department was put together by the state. Okay? Now, what this means is that we were subjected daily, every hour, to a senior bun stabbing scenario where everybody is screaming, where we are outnumbered 3-1. Okay? Detaining people is super impractical because, again, we're outnumbered 3-1. It's a he said, she said over and over and over, and it ran like that for a month and a half before recruitment ever occurred. And the reality is every FTO we currently have as it stands, and I can only speak on behalf of Shift 3, is burnt out. And when I say burnt out, let me give you some numbers, because I feel this will also put it into perspective. Give me just a second. So, this was a conversation I had with Slacks. This was during Turner's LOA. But as it stood at that point, we had 11 officers on our roster. And when I say 11, I mean full officers. Of those 11, people who were, like, for all intents and purposes, MIA, there were 6 of them, which meant that we had 5 on-duty active officers just about every day. Now, of the people who showed up, you know, taking the remainder, that's 5, as I said. In Shift 3, we have 6 FTOs, that being Flop, Turner, Barrick, Alice, Sky, and myself, right? Most of us have been here from the beginning. Barrick was a hire afterwards, or not Alice, Sky was a hire afterwards. But Turner, Flop, Alice, and myself were here from the very beginning. Sky hired maybe a week or 2 in. Same thing with Barrick. Barrick got hired because I pointed him out to Turner on the fucking sidewalk off of Alta and Carson and Innocence and said, if you need a guy who's going to do the work every single day, he's your guy. And he got hired a few days later after getting an interview. Of these people, of these 6 FTOs, I spoke with 5 of them. Every single one of us is burnt out, not even from training, but from just what we were subjected to the month and a half, 2 months prior of being incredibly short-staffed. I'm talking 2 to 3 people on average on duty every day. And the reason, in my opinion, the numbers ever got that low was because we didn't have backup. And if I can't deal with one situation, never mind the amount of concurrent crime that happens at once, I don't know Hold on. One second.
There's 9 officers currently on duty.
Sorry, I saw someone. I just want to make sure they weren't listening in. So back to what I was saying. All of us are just burnt out on the basis of having showed up every single day, despite the fact that we had very few officers, despite the fact that when we were responding to calls, there was no backup. Because again, if there's 2 or 3 officers on duty, we can literally only respond to one call at a time. So it doesn't matter if there's a bomb at Senior Buns and somebody actively being stabbed in front of EMS. We can't deal with both of those at once. It's just not practical.
Yeah.
So here's the issue. There's the excessive burnout because all the current FTOs are all of the original or, you know, partially original skeleton crew. We are now tasked with teaching people who need a lot of attention. As it stood at the time that I had this conversation with Slacks and eventually Turner, we had 9 PPOs, which are essentially solo cadets, some of which truthfully should not have been pushed, but really there was no other choice. We had 9 non-solo cadets, which means for a total of 6 FTOs, 5 of which are burnt out, 1 of which is on LOA, we have 18 cadets to monitor at any given time. 18 cadets for 6 FTOs, 5 of which have been run through the ringer. We don't have this unlimited supply of energy and time. And every time a cadet gets pushed through after a interview that needs a lot of attention, they are pulling away from the tiny amount of wick left in the burning candle that each of the FTOs have, that again, we can't spare. We can't. And for whatever reason, they have been just unwilling to take on people with experience. Hall, you were present for the Liquid Library. We invited a ton of people. A lot of, not all, right? Yourself included. You did not want to rejoin the police department. But at the end of the day, you saw that there were a lot of people with pending applications. Okay? You know Louise has been doing Group 6. I think Louise is on duty right now, but Louise is typically not around for all that long. I've seen Louise clock in just to document or take a report for a situation knowing that we're short-staffed.
She did, I spoke to Louise a couple of days ago. She did 19 hours across 2 days last week.
Last week specifically, I was off duty for a few days, but...
So, but she had the same thing that, like, she'd rather would do a 19-hour shift than come on duty several times.
100%. Yeah, 100%. And don't get me wrong, like, things are looking more promising, like the more recent round of cadets. You know, we've already sort of acknowledged that in shift 3, the current round of cadets is pretty solid. But it doesn't change from the fact that right now the bottleneck is not recruitment, it's training. And there seems to be this unwillingness to sort of push people ahead without officially going through the process. But the reality here is there ain't going to be much of a process when there ain't going to be much FTOs, because the FTOs, again, the wick that is burning is practically non-existent.
Yep.
So that's, again, I think this whole old guard bullshit needs to come to an end, because it's not a coincidence that it's myself, Barrick, Flop, Alice, Sky, and Cornwood, despite his suspension or whatever, showed up every day. I don't think that's a coincidence at all, because what's happening is these cadets are showing up. They're seeing what they're subjected to on a day-to-day. They're seeing that we're short-staffed, and they then think to themselves, I don't want to deal with this. If the original skeleton crew halved in numbers because of what we were subjected to every fucking day, do you really think taking on new cadets who are all, you know, bright-eyed at the beginning and super happy, and then are subjected to stuff on a daily basis that they can't deal with because it's a logistical nightmare, you think they're going to stay? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And again, when group 6 robbery at the vault. And the reality here is I responded to a laundromat robbery with Den, who's now fired from my understanding. Because of from my understanding, he had pit somebody and it struck a person on a sidewalk.
Yep.
In my opinion, what happened is terrible, right? What happened is terrible, but at the end of the day,
Can I confirm something about that, Rhodes?
I don't have too much info regarding it, unfortunately,
No,
but
the den removal, I just need to confirm, announcement was put out regarding his removal.
I believe there was. Let me just verify because we can now
Could you
scroll through
verify,
this.
please?
Yep. Let's see. Yep, removal of officer. Oh wait, no, not that one. Yep, removal of Officer Shiesty. LSPD High Command came to the united decision for Denzel Shiesty to be terminated after being the first officer to accumulate 10 DAPs. This being the first High Command review for an officer is taken very seriously. We have a commitment to upholding the highest standards of integrity and accountability within our ranks. Denzel will be eligible to reapply to the PD. Any questions regarding this, go through the proper chain of command. But here's the reality. If he's eligible to reapply, and they even consider it, given the current state of PD and the lack of numbers, there should have instead just have been a suspension, in my opinion, with he didn't even necessarily need retraining is the reality. He was put in a rough situation. There is anytime, to be clear, anytime you pit somebody, there is always a risk. It doesn't matter how safe you think it is. You do not have an all-seeing eye. You cannot predict that a million different things are going to happen. Yes, the outcome of this situation was bad. 100%. But if an officer tells you that they verified in their immediate vicinity and they did not see anybody, if an officer tells you that they did so in good faith, okay, and they still get punished as a result, what they're pretty much saying is the actual, the how should I word this? The officer's perspective is irrelevant if the outcome was bad, which to me is backwards. I think if an officer is acting in good faith for the same reason, I don't even know if we have qualified immunity, but if we don't, that's a whole separate topic I need to get into. But my TLDR on that is if an officer did something in good faith, and this was during a time, by the way, that Den was trying not to take primary on scenes because he felt as if he was being, targeted for getting DAPs and whatnot. So much so that the police department was joking that they were not disciplinary action points, they were Denzel appreciation points.
That is being reported to me, yep.
Mm-hmm. And then he didn't even want to be a part of that pursuit. He got called in as backup because he was in a Taurus and the vehicle that they were in required it. He responds, he does his job. The way that the person corrected their vehicle ultimately resulted in them striking a civilian, and bam, he gets fired as a result. What does that say about our police department? Because to me, if I have to sit there and second guess everything I do because the potential exists that, should the person do something crazy, correct their vehicle, strike a civilian, I'm now at fault. Even if when I evaluated the situation, it seemed very unlikely, or I didn't have that information available because let's say a civilian turned a corner too quick or was traveling at 100 miles an hour, and it's not something I could have reasonably expected. Now I'm getting in trouble for doing my job. I'm getting in trouble in this hypothetical for doing my job while I'm paying to work in a lot of cases.